Monika, your partner Johan and your artistic collaborator is not here now today, so you will just explain to us a little bit the reason why you started working on this project. It's a big project with a lot of documentation. The title of the project is The Politics of Color, and you're looking into the history of color television. But could you explain a little bit to our viewers how this history is related to the political conflict at that time?
Yes. We started to look at maps from maps from recent days that they show that shows the different television systems, NTSC, CAM and PAL. And what we discovered was that they were so politicized that you could exactly trace out colonial borders, but also the old borders from the Cold War. Then we just asked the question, why these three systems? What was the reason behind them? And here, close to the door, is a short documentary about telling the story. We had really to dig in archive to find material. Sometimes it was very difficult to get pictures. So in a way it gets like a fairy tale sense when you look at it, because we had also to try to find material that would fit into the story. But this was a serious attempt to figure out what actually happened when they decided for the systems, because it was interesting in this story because it's an organ like Johan or something, but for telecommunications. They are seated in Geneva, and they held conferences and meetings, and they were working on this issue with color television, which was it was a prestige issue. It was like many technical issues in the 60s. The superpowers, they really wanted to state that, they were in the front line and so on.
So this is both, in fact, historical documentation that you are digging out of archives, and this is also a your history about the development of media technology. But in a way, when you look at this video installation, which is quite complex, because you have both footage documentation, and you also have this kind of media archaeological research just through the object by bringing the TV screens here into the room. But I could say that behind all this you also have a history of consumption, because the reason why this discussion about the different system was so important, it was also a story of consumption, and you can see how the different producers of television sets also influenced this discussion.
Yes. And that makes it also very relevant today, because we actually have exactly this kind of thing with trying to get different technological systems in order to make more products. And we can see, here is a speech which I also think in a way relates to a contemporary, or perhaps not contemporary, but to the internet revolution. It's a speech made from just a few months before the final decision was taken about the systems. It's a Swedish guy. It's a construction, because the real speech, I don't know where the recording is, or if it is still any recording anywhere. We have digged for the speech in the Swedish archive. The guy who was the head of this television group in Geneva was a Swede, Erik Esping, and he held this speech, and here he really stress that it's so important for globalization and for peace that we have a common television system. Exactly, it talks in exactly the same way as we used to talk about the internet in the beginning of the millennium. Thank you.
Šobrīd mēs atrodamies trešajā istabā, kur māksliniece Monika stāsta par savu darbu krāsu politika. Kāpēc šis projekts un kā krāsu politika ir saistīta ar šo politisko konfliktu? Savā ziņā varētu teikt, ka šīs kartas, ko mēs redzam ekrānos, tās parāda šīs robežas, kas ierobežo valstis vienu otru, nošķīra arī šīs informatīvās telpas un nebija šī vienotā informācijas apmaiņa, bet šie materiāli bija jāmeklē ļoti daudzos arhīvos un pētot, mēs mēģinājām veikt ļoti nopietnus tiešām pētījumus un atklājām par to, cik svarīgi ir bijuši šī Ženēvas konferences, šīs daudzās tikšanās reizes, kad tika uzsvērts par nepieciešamību veidot vienotu kopēju televīzijas sistēmu. Protams, krāsu televīzija tas arī bija apliecinājums prestižam un kā supervaru cildinošs lielums. Šis vēstījums ir kā vēsturisks pārskats un arī pētījums, savu veidu mēdīju arheoloģija, kur mēs cenšamies parādīt to, kas mūsdienās noris ļoti līdzīgi tam, ka mēs cenšamies šīs tehnoloģijas ieviest pēc iespējas vairāk, lai radītu vairāk produktu. Mūsdienu tehnoloģijas revolūcija ir tiešām līdzīgs piemērs tieši tam, un šeit es vēlos īpašu uzmanību pievērst uz materiālu, kurā runā Zviedrijas pārstāvis, kurš uzstājās Ženēvā un runāja tieši par šo televīzijas vienotas kopīgas sistēmas nepieciešamību kopīgai informācijas telpai, tieši tāpat, kā mēs šodien arī runājam par internetu.